Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Welcome if you are new, welcome back. If you are not, welcome everyone. Today's episode is packed with some powerful astrological insights, right? We are diving a little bit into the hurricane. I'll explain that a little bit more if you're in America, some predictions with that. And I've discussed that in the past 2 live videos. I'm also going to be talking about the big whammy, why are we here? The title of this video, and some cosmic clues around is America potentially going to war. And yeah, we'll get more detailed about that. And I'm also going to talk about P. Diddy, because how can I not talk about him? And also there's a little correlation from looking at America's map and taking it into P. Diddy. So I will be discussing that. If I have time, I will do horoscopes. And if I don't, then I'll do horoscopes tomorrow. Don't worry, I already have it down. I have the information down because I'm a note taker. A lot of Gemini energy in me. But yes, that will happen either in this video or tomorrow. But whether or not, I have some information for you. This is a very informative video, and the planets are aligning for some intense energy. So we're going to buckle up. Okay, and we're going to watch this video so we can be not ignorant anymore about what the stars have to say. I'm messing up my words, but the vibe in the sky, and whether you're looking for insights or want to know about the current events, I got it all. So it's going to get covered. And I do want you guys to currently, as you are watching this, to thumbs up this video if you like this information. It helps me out so much that I have a little beat for you. Throwing a little party so you guys can actually thumbs up this video. Okay, so that was your time to thumbs up if you didn't know. Now I am going to, I already put some tarot because I actually was into this last night, and I'm going to read the tarot for what I already pulled. With this, I basically ask, is America going to war? And reading my text messages. And the first card that we have is the 8 of Brooms, and the 8 of Brooms, the 8 of Wands, and this is talking about rapid movement. So it's going to be sudden, it's going to be unexpected, it's going to be quick. In the context of war, it's going to happen really fast. There's going to be a fast-paced energy when it comes to the conflict, okay? And that's interesting that this card is pulled, because this is also relating to the astrology that I have. And I was going to redo the reading, but I said, no, this is so perfect. So I kept the cards here to the side, and I'll do some more live reading too. And then also I pulled this card, and this is the Page of Pentacles. And whatever this war is, it was either carefully planned, or someone is really focused on this energy. And yeah, or maybe there's some messages coming our way already in regards to this war. This also could be someone who's weighing their options carefully. They don't want to rush, even though the energy is moving fast, but someone's moving slow. I don't know if it's the reaction of America or the enemy, whoever it is, okay? But there is some gathering of some resources, and maybe the people would economically be suffering and gathering, starting to gather some resources when it comes to our land and what we deem valuable. That could be happening with this war, or it could be involving our resource in some way, but it's the beginning of it, so it's new. And it's definitely dealing with resources. That doesn't seem like a prophetic thought when it comes to war, because immediately you are getting your valuables, what you think is valuable and what you can sell to survive. So there is that, but this is something involving this war, okay? Then next I pulled the Moon card, and here is the Moon card, and immediately there's fear, or there's some illusions, or there's something that is uncertain or a secret. There's some hidden aspects to this war, something that we can't see. Maybe there's hidden agendas or deception. This also could represent mysteries. This could represent some misunderstandings, misguided actions. Definitely highly emotional. Could be dealing with the home, because the moon also represents a home. But I feel like it's, I want to say cloudy judgment, but just like not clear energy, okay? Yeah, so I'm thinking there's illusions with this war. Okay, so there's some rumblings, beginning rumblings of 9/11 and how that really started or why that really started. And I'm thinking that this war may be involving that as well when it comes to this card. Okay. And not saying that we won't be emotional or we won't be living in fear, because usually that happens when there is war. At the same time, this fear is probably made up or an illusion from really what's going on. Lastly, we have the Knight of Swords when it comes to this war. And when I see this, I'm thinking, a lot of talking and fighting. Okay. This is a knight. So this is someone who's fighting. So this is definitely a yes, there will be a war coming. And it may be aggressive. Okay. It may be impulsive because that is air. Air is like coming from nowhere. All of a sudden you feel the wind gushing at you, and the swords represent air. But it's very determined action. It's very headstrong when it's trying to achieve things and do things. It is about communication and technology. So I wonder if there's something dealing with technology within this war. But military escalations, 100%, because you're dealing with a knight. You're talking about the fighter. So yeah. So overall, from this reading, there is pressure. There's moving forward. With the Knight of Swords, there's strong, assertive communication, fighting with words. Maybe through technology, the Page of Swords is more measured and so maybe calculated. And maybe that's something that's behind the scenes because it is touching that moon. So maybe there's some slow, calculated energy happening in the behind the scenes that we can't see, that is causing some confusion or some hidden factors. But whatever it is going to be fast. Okay, and the knight is prepared to fight, especially with their words. Okay, so that is what we have for the astrology. Now, I mean, for the tarot, just so you know. So we got that part with the war. And now I want to talk about Pearl Harbor. Okay. Pearl Harbor happened December, what is the date? December 7th, 1941. Okay. I'm going to bring up my chart because now, oh wait, actually, should I bring up the hurricane? Let me say something about the hurricane first. I'm sorry. I just got into the war. Let me say quickly the hurricane. Okay, so the hurricane, this future hurricane coming up, and I've discussed this already. But Venus is in the sign Scorpio. Mars is pre-shadow retrograding in the sign Cancer. So there is this energy of like fighting for your home and protecting your home. That's already sitting there and it's retrograding. It's like you can't do it. Just so you know that that is already part of the energy. Now, Venus is in the sign Scorpio. And let me actually bring up the chart. Hold up. Wait a minute. And these are things that I should have already had prepared, Danyell. So why didn't I? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we are going to show this and we'll do it now. Okay, so Venus is in a sign Scorpio, and it's going to get a little bit closer to a little 24 degrees, and it's going to be closer to this eclipse, not eclipse, to this asteroid called Typhon. Okay, and Typhon is an asteroid that represents storms. It represents earthquakes. It represents volcanic activity, and there's some threatening events with this. Okay, so I do think that this is huge, and this is going to be even bigger. This could be worse. And you are also talking about finances too. So the resources, the finances, the money will be a little skim. Not resources, yeah, resources. Okay, will be a little short, or maybe it's something that we owe or something like that. People will be owning a lot of money when in regards to this disaster that could be happening. Okay, so I just quickly want to say what that is. Also too, when you have this conjunction, just to just else tie it in, it's an intense storm because you are dealing with Scorpio energy. It could be emotional, of course, all that. It's going to be transformative. It's going to change the environment. There will be disruptions, and it is something with finances. There could be some hidden forces involved here. This is water related energy. Okay, water related. So flooding, water, okay, a tsunami, whatever is intense water. Okay, yes, impact on your home and natural resources could be happening. Unpredictable weather patterns, because that is what typhoon represents. It's very chaotic in nature. Okay. Let me pull a card for which I did the other day, but I'll pull it again for all the people who are suffering through any type of natural disasters. And the card I pulled before is compassion, but this is also collaborating and working together. So that's very important. And then people are going to be out in the cold and feeling lack. Actually, let me there will be a lot of lack of resources. Okay, just so you be aware. And what should you do if there's lack of resources? You have to be smart, you have to be clever. Okay, you have to only think, don't think emotional, think about factual things. Okay, the king of machetes is going to be very logical. It's not going to be based on emotions. It's going to think about factual. I don't know other words to say. It's gonna just think, it's just gonna not be based on emotions. So you're not gonna be sitting here depressed, just like, oh, woe is me, I'm so sad. No, it's like, okay, come on, what do we have to do? How do we think about the future? What are we doing next? Let's make some plans. Okay, so yeah, be the king of machetes, be very logical, and try to gather as much information and research as possible. Okay, that is what you should do during this. All right, and it's always dealing with compassion and have faith, you guys. Okay, prayers for everyone. Anyone who's dealing with any type of natural disasters is really hard. Yeah, so let me go back to what I was talking about. I want to talk about Pearl Harbor. Okay, so now that was the so now we talked about the hurricane, and now I want to talk about Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor happened December 7th, and you're probably like, why are you talking about that? Okay, I want to bring up the chart. December 7th, what was it? December 7th, 1941. Hold on. December 7th, 1941 is when it happened. Okay. I want you to look at this chart. Okay. Oh, let me pull it up. Sorry. Okay. So if you're looking at the chart, I am going to actually connect this chart to America. Hold up. Wait a minute. Here we go. And I'll switch it. Okay, so I want you to be aware of this chart. Okay, America, this is during Pearl Harbor, this outside chart here. Okay, and this is America natal chart. This is America's natal chart. If you look here, during the day that America was attacked, you had Jupiter retrograding in a sign Gemini. And does anyone know what Jupiter is doing this week? It is going to retrograde in a sign Gemini. Okay. I'm sorry if I have a bad service with the internet. That really bugs me that this happens. I have to figure out how to get a better brand. What is it called? Wi-Fi, whatever. Yes, but you can still hear me. That I know. So you cannot, I might be blurry, but you can still hear me. So Jupiter is retrograding in a sign Gemini, and it is currently retrograding in a sign Gemini currently. Okay. And when we had this, we also had Pearl Harbor. Now, we also are dealing with Pluto in the sign Leo. It was on top of the North Node here. Okay. Now, also, we had the South Node having some action with Venus. I just want you to know that these two also are playing a part of this. Okay. This is sextiling, but let me see if there's any other aspect. Oh, I have it in my notes. I don't have to see. Okay. So so that is Pearl Harbor. Now I want to add in, actually, I'll say this. Now I want to add in current presence. Okay. This is currently. Watch when it's not retrograding now, it's in a pre-shadow phase, but it will retrograde this week. Okay. So watch when you see it starts to retrograde, right? And if we keep pushing, I'll keep pushing this chart here. If we keep pushing it, let me actually, okay. I want you to see this starts to come close. Pluto, let me do weeks here. Pluto starts to come close to the South Node of releasing. America needs to release something. You have that. And Mars in the sign Leo starts to get on top exactly at 6 degrees. Pluto will be very potent. It will be at 0 degrees. Pluto is in charge of transformation of the people. That's what Aquarius represents. It represents the people. Okay. And here we have Mars. Mars is the planet of war. It is sitting on top of the North Node. What's more important, which I just said about Pearl Harbor, is that this is exactly at the same degrees that Pearl Harbor happened. This is around December 2nd, just so you know. And it is at 16 degrees retrograding. And it's sitting in between Mars, the planet of America's war, okay? And it could be an attack on, again, a military base or something that's dealing with what we fight with. And I can only think of a military base, but that could be happening. And it is going to be unexpected, unexpected upheaval, unexpected surprise. Not a good one, just a surprise, okay? And it's going to be huge because that's what Jupiter retrograding in Gemini represents. Okay. I do want you to understand. Okay. So I looked at Jupiter retrograding in the sign Gemini and it was conjunct Uranus. So there's could be some in the sign Gemini, it could be some unpredictable alliances or partnership that could be happening, right? Some tensions. Maybe there's expansion with a dispute, a sudden revolutionary action. War, impulsive, because we are dealing with Mars, and I'll tie that in a little bit later, but we'll just talk about Uranus, Jupiter just getting closer to Uranus. Mind you, these are two big planets. When two big planets are involved, it is big for the collective. It's not just involving just our small little universe or us individually. There could be some communication or misinformation. There could be some technology involvement here. Okay. We are dealing with more advancements in the future, and Uranus could be dealing with some technical communication impact. Okay. There's also expansion for open conflicts. Now, when you have Jupiter sitting close to that Mars at the same time, you have heightened aggression, impulsive energy happening, right? Military escalation. Military is now involved and it's showing some force. Okay. Yes. So major open conflicts here. It's a surge of aggression, our negotiations, our diplomatic tensions, increased risk of impulsive actions and outreach. Okay. A major conflict, maybe even some potential with allies. And who are our allies? I don't even know. I'm not, I'm ignorant to it. Cash, who are our allies in America? Do you know? I know Israel. Who else? Who's America's allies? Do you know? Huh? Who? NATO. Okay, NATO. Anyone involved in NATO is our ally. So this also represents allies, the seventh house, but the seventh house also represents open enemies. Okay, just so you know. So expanding conflicts on potential allies or open enemies, unpredictable innovation in military strategy. All that is happening with these two placements, with these two planets in between Jupiter while it's retrograding. It's not that just Jupiter is sitting there, it's that Jupiter is retrograding sitting there. Okay. I do want you to understand. And this is the same thing, same exact degree that was happening during Pearl Harbor's chart, which I was just showing you. And then now you have Mars, the planet of war, sitting on our fate of our future. Okay. So you have that happening in the sky. And this is dealing with leadership. Okay. So there is some type of leader, authority, conflict, aggression. That is what Leo represents. Okay. Now you have this sitting close, Pluto sitting close to what we need to release. And it could be something of our people, just so you understand, because that is what Aquarius represents. Let me see what else I have. Oh, this is really important. Mars is in a pre-shadow retrograde phase too, and it's sitting on top of that north node. So that makes it even more aggressive. Okay. Real heightened energy of trying to be dominant, trying to be controlling, making some bold moves. Okay. There could be some huge conflict based on just our values and what we believe. This is major war energy, and war as a means of our leader asserting himself. This is around December. I wonder if Biden will be, no, Biden changes in January. So who will be in charge? Who knows? Okay. Yeah, there's very patriotic national pride happening and aggression at the same time. Okay. And it's retrograding. So it's over the top energy. The sun in Sagittarius will be in the first house, and Mercury will be in his first house. The moon, it will change, but let's say this happens December 2nd, whatever, this war energy that is coming, the same energy that happened during Pearl Harbor. This being in the first house is saying that this is big globally. Okay. We are in, everyone's looking at America. The sun conjunct our rising sign means everyone is looking at us. Everyone's like, wow, what is going on with America? A lot of news. And at the same time, Mercury's retrograding. So is the news bad? Okay. I just want you to understand, with the sun in Sagittarius in that first house, Mercury retrograding in Sagittarius is conjunct our ascendant. So now you're talking about our national identity, how we are to the world, our public perception, international relations. And Sagittarius always wants its freedom or wants the truth. So there is a discussion or a huge sunlight bringing that energy up of being big. Like America, you're supposed to be big and bad, okay? And being free. You're supposed to be free. Something with foreign policies is happening here with that as well. Could be happening, okay? And then Pluto entering that sign Aquarius at 0 degrees is very potent. Potent means very, very strong. And there is just Pluto in Aquarius, which makes me think of P. Diddy, and I'll bring that up in a minute. But Pluto in Aquarius is just a huge power energy. Pluto is huge on power alone and huge on transformation. And you're talking about something with technology or our future or our human rights or our individual freedoms or even like our governance, because this Aquarius represents energies of like Senate and governors and stuff like that. So, but there could be some technical interruptions or something with a disruption of some sort, or maybe someone's taking over power of our technology. It makes me just want to say, like, say someone takes over. You know how you watch the movies and all of a sudden someone's on your TV screen and they're like the enemy? It could be something like that, or it could be social unrest or rebellion at the same time as this war is happening. Yeah, so that could be happening. Now, Pluto does represent a group and belonging as oneness, and this could be a power issue. I'm just telling you what this represents, okay? But yeah, just major power struggles with technology, with social media, with some form of communication, or disruption to a traditional structure of some sort, okay? And it's like we have to let it go. We have to release it, okay? And at 0 degrees makes it very strong. And it's in a house of communication, in a house of communities. So it could be a community of some sort that's going to be released, a local community, a network of some sort, something dealing with siblings, a community dealing with siblings or siblings involved, or early education. So it could be some schools of some sort. Yeah. So just want you to know that that could represent, it could be something with communicative. And that's why it makes me think of something like social media or technology that could be dealing with this. Okay. Yeah, so that is what we have. Oh, also, I just want to say too that Pluto is currently, let me go back to now. Pluto is currently having, let's go back a little bit more. Pluto is current, no, because it goes direct. I forgot. Yeah. So Pluto currently is having a Pluto return, and that's very strong for America already. Okay. So that's why we have this huge transformation in power and the structure of power, and people being really accountable, the government, and not saying that they are, but there is major focus on the government. And I feel like they always say you got to vote, this is a very important voting time. They always say that, but this is more intense because we have this Pluto return, and that's why Trump being a little bit different and adding his spice, and Kamala being a woman, it's bigger than ever. Being an Indian or black, whatever you want to say. I did talk about her ethnicity with astrology, and I put that video on my groups page. So if you're part of my community, you understand the backings of that. So that's a very interesting video too. But whenever you have a Pluto return, there's intense power struggles. Okay. So you have that, and you have the breaking down of an establishment or a system or a government or a loss or crisis. So, and just resistance to any type of change or tradition. And this is, it's still a little bit close to our Pluto. I want you to understand as this energy is happening over here, okay? Mars is already pre-shadow retrograding. So we already have that, okay? And I quickly want to tell you about our progress chart here. Let's go to America's progress chart. Let me remove this. And let's go to America's progress chart. Okay, so this is what America is currently going through right now. This is how America feels, and this will be the same around December 2nd. Okay, let me have a sip of water. If you see, the sun has changed from Cancer. The sun here has changed from Cancer to Pisces. Okay, America, is born July 4th, the day before my birthday, so I always celebrated July 4th. But now it's a Pisces sun. Okay, and a progress chart. For people who are new to astrology, it moves the planetary positions forward, and typically it's like one day or each year. They all change, varies to the actual planet that you are involving. And the secondary progression chart, which is a progress chart, reveals how a person or an entity or in this way a nation, how it matures and grows or changes. It's shifting the focus in a different area in the life, okay, or life areas. So for example, changing your communication and your mindset, or how you evolve in relationships and what you value, or how transformations in motivations and ambitions, how that changes. Okay, shifts in responsibilities and your life structure. This is all what happens in a progress chart, because we're once young and now we're older, and all these things start to change, and now we're going to see what is America, how it has it evolved to now, and it's sometimes showing us timing of a major life event too. So now the sun was in Cancer, and it was all about the homeland and protecting ourselves, and now it's in the sign of Pisces, which could be an ending of some sort, okay, a death of some sort during this time. So it went from domestic affairs and being nurturing and compassionate, right? And now there could be this energy currently of lack of clarity, lack of direction, okay? Just a lot of loss in the sauce, very I just say darkness kind of energy, also very sensitive. There's a lot of escapism and avoidance as a culture, as America, okay? Difficulty facing any type of reality. America, I'm going to speak for myself mostly. You can see now there is this energy of America not really facing the reality and wanting to escape, far as like binge watching or Instagram, or just so you know, that is where the culture is for America. Okay. Yeah, just a lot of diffusion and identity too. What is America? What does it stand for? How does it assert itself confidently? A lot of abstract ideas is what it represents, and deceptions and illusions. Okay. But this also represents endings and deaths. Okay. Could represent a lot of suicides too. I find that America probably does look lost in the sauce, especially a lot of people are like, why'd you vote for Trump? Why is Trump your president? Why is Biden your president? All of that is happening. Now, the moon is in the sign. Where is my moon? The moon was from Aquarius, and now it's in Pisces too. Again, heightened sensitivity for America currently, and a lot of emotional energy of escapism and lacking clear boundaries, lacking direction. Where does Biden want America to go to? There's deception and misinformation. Yeah, as a collective too, there could be a sense of fear for a lot of people. Yeah, the collective energy, because this does represent the people, could be having some confusion, just so you know. Okay, now Mercury has progressed from Cancer, again the homeland, and now it's in Aquarius. Okay, so a lot of emotional detachment when it comes to our information and how we perceive information. Okay, tendency to overlook anything traditional. Aquarius is very new world kind of energy. So the traditions and the established norms, that is out. Okay, America doesn't want to really do traditions, and I'm not saying this is it, you individually. I'm talking about America as a whole. Okay, it wants to do something new, something out of the box, something different. Okay, sexuality and the discussion of sexuality in a family unit is so different from modern modern is now, from past conservative times, from traditional times. Okay. Also, this is very fixed energy. This is mutable, so it's here to change, but this is fixed and it doesn't want to change. Okay. It's very I don't want to change in my beliefs of something new. Okay. But thinking about the future, thinking about technology, thinking about science, all that is where America is right now, just so you know. But a lot of unconventional communication too. Now Saturn, which is not that common, right? So Saturn has changed to Scorpio. Okay. Saturn is the planet of responsibilities, lessons, long term kind of energy. It also represents the transformation of government and institutions. And there's obsessive focus on control and power when it's in Scorpio. That is where America is sitting at right now. There's also a lot of secrecies. Okay. Scorpio energy is all about the taboos. I find that Pisces represents the occult and secret societies and Illuminati. There is some similarity energy here too. I just want you to know, but increased distrust and secrecy when it comes to the government. I just want you to know this is where America is in its progress chart. Fear of being vulnerable or resistance to any kind of change is very pessimistic, emotional hardness, increased pressure and intensity far as our relationships with our allies or who we depend on. I don't think we depend on anyone financially, but there is that NATO situation. Challenges to maybe even trying to control NATO too. I think that's something that we've already been doing. Challenges in transforming longstanding institutions, potential for financial strain. Could be happening because this is the planet of lessons. Okay. Now, Mars has progressed from Gemini here. This is where our Mars used to be, right? And now Mars has progressed, and Mars changes a lot. Okay. It moves faster, but it's changed to Libra. So now there is this focus and shift on relationships and our allies and our partnerships. Even what are we agreeing on? And I think the NATO thing is like a big part too, and trying to fight with to achieve a NATO kind of situation. Okay, but now when there's war with this progress chart, there's indecision. Okay, there's hesitation. There's this energy of not trying to deal with it heads on, avoiding direct confrontation and passive aggressive tendencies, which I hate personally. But yeah, so you have that energy and risk of like superficial alliances. So yeah, Ukraine's our friend, but is it really? I just threw Ukraine out there. I really say Israel. But that is the energy of it. Okay. A lot of difficulty balancing self-interest with cooperation and lack of initiative too when you have Mars in Libra. Now, lastly, I will talk about Venus being in the sign leaving Cancer, and now it's in the sign Taurus. Now, this one I really, really related to in understanding currently the culture of America and how we are currently. Okay. Now, I've already discussed the war prediction and I'm saving this video live so you can see it, but I want you to know culturally that there is a strong overemphasis on materialism and comfort. Okay. Getting that fast fashion and not even thinking about what about the money. This is major lazy, overindulgent, eating a lot of energy. Okay. And it is in the sign Venus. Its resistance to change is very rigid. It is a fixed sign. It's all about possessiveness and having a fear of loss or losing any type of economic money or economy, are losing our resources. And that is what America is about. Just overconsumption, indulgence, reluctant to engage any deep emotional connection, very surface level emotionally, are what our partnerships too. Okay. Yeah, just very fixed finances, all that, and a lot of fast fashion shopping, all that stuff is what you get currently with America. Okay. So that is what I have with the current progression chart of America. I did the charts of Israel and Iran in a previous video, in Palestine, and I didn't do America, so that's why I did America. And I also wanted you to understand the issue of the war and connecting it to Pearl Harbor so you can understand. Now I want to talk about P. Diddy real quick. Actually, let me pull up his chart. P. Diddy. And yes, let me drink some water first, and then we will talk about P. Diddy, because I have some more stuff on him. And speaking of Pluto in a sign Aquarius, right? When doing a natal chart reading, there's endless amount of readings you can do. So it's not like you can just read a chart and within an hour break down everything. That's not normally how it's done. So that's why I keep having pieces added on to the P. Diddy reading. Okay. So with P. Diddy, I want you to understand. Actually, let me add the current chart. Ooh, okay, yes. Now I want you to understand where's Pluto. Okay, so Pluto is sitting right on top of his Mars. Okay, Pluto is the lessons. Okay, it's the challenges, and it's at 29 degrees. There's a sense of urgency for him to learn his lessons. I did a whole video on P. Diddy, and I just want you to understand that this is happening on top of his chart now, and it's going to go direct. But there's transforming on how he pursued things, and it's bringing out mystery on his sexual energy. If this chart is correct, okay, either he is a Mars in Aquarius and Pluto will bring more energy in here, or Pluto is bringing it here. Whatever it is, we'll see when Mars going to Aquarius how strong it is, but it's already strong here. So that's why I'm thinking this is an accurate time. Also, Mars will be the ruler of his chart, which is Scorpio, and it is causing a major disruption in his life, right? We already know Mars is the planet of you trying to achieve sex, okay? Scorpio energy is you, the act of sex, and Mars is trying to pursue it, okay? And this is major energy that he has. Yeah, and this Pluto energy, also part of that rulership, modern rulership of Scorpio, is sitting on top of his Mars. Just a lot of energy, huge planet. It's a huge planet, so it's going to make a big effect, and it's coming and bringing out the dirt. Okay, power struggles and conflicts when you have this conjunction here, obsession and compulsive behaviors, dealing with anger and aggression, destructive tendencies, and physical energy, and it could be exhausting. And there's secrets here. And Capricorn represents control, father figure, mentor, infrastructure. So the rumors, everyone put on their tin hats on, is there a bigger structure in charge of him? That could be true. Okay, that can definitely be true, especially with this. Okay, I just wanted to add that little tidbit added on to P Diddy because I was talking about Pluto in a sign Aquarius for America. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, so I want to bring that up too. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly do the horoscopes. That is what we have for just the current events and if America is going to war. Let me actually pull some tarot for P Diddy. Did I do tarot for? Yeah, I did tarot for us. Actually, if America goes to war, if America goes to war, what do we need to know? We have the Nine of Brooms. Okay, so there is an energy of keep fighting, persevere, do not give up. Okay, and then there is deception and sneakiness. Actually, sorry. So we have, if we go to war, there is that you need to persevere. Don't give up. Okay. There is some deception in the news, deception in how we are delivered the information on this war, just so you know. And I did say it's going to be fast. There is fast energy. And this is also the Tower card, and it represents Mars and Uranus, which represents war. And also, I said in that chart reading that Jupiter is retrograding in between those two planets for America. And that's interesting that this card represents both of those things. But this is a major arcana, so it's huge, first of all, and it is saying to release. You need to let go. Okay, let go and let God. That is what this card represents. Okay, so you are falling and you're just going to fall with it. Okay, so just giving some disclaimers. If you lose a home, let it go. Let it go and let God. Do not hold on tight to something. Release and let it go. Okay, because this is what could potentially happen. I don't want it to happen. Also, too, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay. So, everyone, if there is going to be a war with the Queen of Cups, you want to practice compassion. You want to use your intuition more than anything. Okay. If your body is saying to go left, then go left. Do not go right, go left. If someone's saying go right, but your intuition, something in you is telling to go left, then go left. If you lead with your heart, if you are like, no, I need to stay here and help this person, then that is what the Queen of Cups is going to do. They're going to be nurturing, they're going to be compassionate, and they're going to lead with love in their feelings more than anything, even if it doesn't make sense. But this, my heart is telling me to do this. That is what you have to lead with. Okay.